Ecclesiastes. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Breath out of breath, says the preacher, breath out of breath, all is breath. What profit has a man of all his labor that he takes under the sun? One generation passes away, and another generation comes, but the earth abides for the ages. The sun also rises, and the sun goes down, and hastens to its place where it arose. The wind goes toward the south, and turns about to the north, it whirls about continually, and the wind returns again according to its circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full, unto the place from where the rivers come, there they return again. All words are weak, unable is any man to tell, the eye is not satisfied with seeing, or the ear filled with hearing. The thing that has been, it is what will be, and what is done is what will be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything of which it may be said, see, this is new? It has been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither will there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that will come after. I the preacher was king over Israel in Jerusalem. And I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under the cosmos. This bad task has Elohim given to the sons of man to be exercised in it. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is breath and a striving of mind. What is crooked cannot be made straight, and what is wanting cannot be reckoned. I communed with my own heart saying, Lo, I am come to great estate and have obtained more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yes, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is a striving of mind. Because in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increases knowledge increases sorrow. I said in my heart, Go to now, I will test you with mirth, therefore enjoy pleasure, and observe, this also is breath. I said of laughter, It is mad, and of mirth, what does it? I sought in my heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquainting my heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, until I might see what was good for the sons of men, which they should do under the cosmos all the days of their life. I made great works, I built houses, I planted vineyards, I made gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them of all kinds of fruits. I made for myself pools of water, to water from them a forest shooting forth trees. I obtained slaves and maidens, and had slaves born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered myself also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces. I obtained male and female singers, and the delights of the sons of men, as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great, and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem, also my wisdom remained with me. And whatever my eyes desired I kept not from them, I withheld not my heart from any joy, because my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had accomplished and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was breath and a striving of mind, and there was no profit under the sun. And I turned myself to observe wisdom, and madness, and folly, because what can the man do that comes after the king? Even what has been already done. Then I saw that wisdom excels folly, as far as light excels darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walks in darkness, and I myself perceived also that one event happens to them all. Then I said in my heart, As it happens to the fool, so it happens even to me, and why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart, that this also is breath. Because there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool for the ages, seeing what now is in the days to come will all be forgotten. And how dies the wise one? As the fool. Therefore I hated life, because the work that is accomplished under the sun is grievous to me, because all is breath and a striving of mind. Yes, I hated all my labor that I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it to the man that will be after me. And who knows whether he will be a wise one or a fool? Yet he will have rule over all my labor with which I have labored, and in which I have shown myself wise under the sun. This is also breath. Therefore I went about to cause my heart to despair of all the labor that I took under the sun. Because there is a man whose labor is in wisdom, and in knowledge, and in equity, yet to a man that has not labored therein will he leave it for his portion. This also is breath and a great badness. Because what has a man of all his labor, and of the strivings of his heart in which he has labored under the sun? For all his days are sorrows, and his travail grief, yes, his heart takes not rest in the night. This is also breath. There is nothing better for a man, than that he should eat and drink, and that he should make his life to enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw, that it was from the hand of Elohim. Because who can eat, or who is more eager than I am? For to a man who is good before him, he has given wisdom, and knowledge, and joy, and to a sinner he has given travail, to gather and to heap up, to give to the good before Elohim. Even this is breath and a striving of mind. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the cosmos, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get, and a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away, a time to tear, and a time to sow, a time to keep silent, and a time to speak, a time to love, and a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. What profit has he that works in what he labors? I have seen the travail, that Elohim has given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He has made everything beautiful in its time, also he has set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that Elohim makes from the beginning to the end. I know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice, and to do good in his life. And also that every man should eat and drink, and enjoy the good of all his labor, it is the gift of Elohim. I know that, whatever Elohim does, it will be for the ages, nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it, and Elohim does it that men should fear before him. What has been is now, and what is to be has already been, and Elohim requires what is past. And again, I have seen under the sun the place of judgment, there is the wicked, and the place of righteousness, there is the wicked. I said in my heart, Elohim will judge the righteous and the wicked, because there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. I said in my heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that Elohim might purify them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. Because what befalls the sons of men befalls beasts, even one thing befalls them, as the one dies, so dies the other, yes, they have all one breath, so that a man has no preeminence above a beast, for all is but a vapor. All go to one place, all are of the dust and all turn to dust again. Who knows the spirit of man that goes upward, and the spirit of the beast that goes downward to the earth? Therefore I perceive that there is nothing better, than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his portion, because who will bring him to see what will be after him? So I returned, and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter, and on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Therefore I praise the dead that are already dead more than the living that are still alive. And better than both of them is he who has not yet existed, in that he has not seen the bad work that had been done under the sun. Again, I considered all toil, and every right work, that for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This is also breath and a striving of mind. The fool folds his hands together, and eats his own flesh. Better is a handful with quietness, than both the hands full with toil and a striving of mind. Then I returned, and I saw breath under the sun. There is one alone, and there is not a second, yes, he has neither child nor brother, still is there no end of all his labor, neither is his life satisfied with riches, neither says he, for whom do I labor and bereave my life of good? This is also breath, yes, it is a vexatious employment. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him that is alone when he falls, because he has not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat, but how can one be warm alone? And if one prevails against him, two will withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. For out of prison he comes to reign, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becomes poor. I considered all the living that walk under the sun, with the second child that will stand up in his place. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them, they also that come after will not rejoice in him. Surely this also is breath and a striving of mind. Guard your feet when you go to the temple of Elohim, and be more ready to hear, than to give the sacrifice of fools, because they consider not that they do bad. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim, because Elohim is in the cosmos, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Because a dream comes through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words. When you vow a vow unto Elohim, defer not to pay it, because he has no pleasure in fools, pay what you have vowed. Better is it that you should not vow, than that you should vow and not pay. Suffer not your mouth to cause your flesh to sin, neither say before the angel, that it was an error. Why should Elohim be angry at your voice, and destroy the work of your hands? Because in the multitude of dreams and many words there are also vanities, but you fear Elohim. If you see the oppression of the poor, and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter, because he that is higher than the highest regards, and there are higher than they. Moreover the profit of the earth is for all, the king himself is served by the field. He that loves silver will not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loves abundance with increase, this is also breath. When goods increase, they are increased that eat them, and what good is there to its owners, saving the observing of them with their eyes? The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eats little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. There is a grievous bad that I have seen under the sun, namely, riches kept for the owners to their distress. But those riches perish by bad tasks, and he begets a son, and there is nothing in his hand. As he came out of his mother's womb, naked he will return to go as he came, and will take nothing of his labor that he may carry away in his hand. And this also is a grievous bad, that in all points as he came, so he will go, and what profit has he that has labored for the wind? All his days also he eats in darkness, and he has much sorrow and anger with his sickness. Observe what I have seen, it is good and beautiful for one to eat and to drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labor that he takes under the sun all the days of his life that Elohim gives him, because it is his portion. Every man also to whom Elohim has given riches and wealth, and has given him power to eat of it, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of Elohim. Because he will not much remember the days of his life, because Elohim answers him in the joy of his heart. There is a badness that I have seen under the sun, and it is common among men, a man to whom Elohim has given riches, wealth, and honor, so that he lacks nothing for his life of all that he desires, yet Elohim gives him not power to eat of it, but a stranger eats it, this is breath, and it is a bad sickness. If a man genders 100 children, and lives many years, so that the days of his years are many, and his life is not filled with good, and also that he has no burial, I say, that an untimely birth is better than he. Because he comes in with breath, and departs in darkness, and his name will be covered with darkness. Moreover he has not seen the sun, nor known anything, this has more rest than the other. Yes, though he lives 1,000 years twice over, yet he has seen no good, do not all go to one place. All the labor of man is for his mouth, and yet the appetite is not filled. Because what has the wise more than the fool? What has the poor that knows to walk before the living? Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire, this is also breath and a striving of mind. What has been is named already, and it is known that it is man, neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he. Seeing there are many things that increase breath, what is man the better? Because who knows what is good for man in this life, all the days of his vain life that he spends as a shadow? Because who can tell a man what will be after him under the sun? A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. It is better to go to the house of mourning, than to go to the house of feasting, because that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, because by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise, than for a man to hear the song of fools. Because as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool, this also is breath. Surely oppression makes a wise man mad, and a gift destroys the heart. Better is the end of a thing than its beginning, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not hasty in your passions to be angry, for anger rests in the bosom of fools. Say not, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? Because you do not inquire wisely concerning this. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. Because wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is, that wisdom gives life to them that have it. Consider the work of Elohim, because who can make that straight, which he has made crooked? In the day of prosperity be joyful, but in the day of adversity consider, Elohim also has set the one opposite the other, to the end that man should find nothing after him. All things have I seen in the days of my life, breath. There is a righteous person that perishes in his righteousness, and there is a wicked person that prolongs his life in his wickedness. Be not righteous over much, neither make yourself over wise. Why should you destroy yourself? Be not over much wicked, neither be foolish. Why should you die before your time? It is good that you should take hold of this, yes, also from this withdraw not your hand, because he that fears Elohim will come forth of them all. Wisdom strengthens the wise more than 10 mighty people that are in the city. Because there is not a righteous man upon earth that does good, and sins not. Also take no heed to all words that are spoken, unless you hear your slave curse you, because oftentimes also your own heart knows that you yourself likewise have cursed others. All this have I tested by wisdom. I said, I will be wise, but it was far from me. What is far off, and exceedingly mysterious, who can find it out? I applied my heart to know, and to search, and to seek out wisdom, and the reason of things, and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness, and I find more bitter than death the woman, whose heart is a net and a thing devoted, and her hands as bonds of prison. Whoever pleases Elohim will escape from her, but the sinner will be captured by her. Behold, this I have found, says the preacher, counting one by one, to find out the account, which yet my mind seeks, but I find not. One man among 1,000 I have found, but a woman among all those I have not found. Lo, this only I have found, that Elohim has made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Who is as the wise one? And who knows the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom makes his face to shine, and the boldness of his face will be changed. I counsel you to observe the king's commandment, and that in regard of the oath of Elohim. Be not hasty to go out of his sight, stand not in a bad thing, because he does whatever pleases him. Where the word of a king is, there is power, and who may say to him, what are you doing? Whoever observes the commandment will feel no injurious thing, and a wise man's heart discerns both time and judgment. Because to every purpose there is time and judgment, therefore the misery of man is great upon him. Because he knows not what will be, because who can tell him when it will be? There is no man that has power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither has he power in the day of death, and there is no discharge in that war, neither will wickedness deliver those that are given to it. All this I have seen, and applied my heart to every work that is done under the sun. There is a time in which one man rules over another to his own hurt. And so I saw the wicked buried, who had come and gone from the standing place of the sacred, and they were forgotten in the city where they had so done. This is also breath. Because sentence against a bad work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do bad. Though a sinner do bad 100 times, and his days are prolonged, yet surely I know that it will be well with them that fear Elohim, which fear before him, but it will not be well with the wicked, neither will he prolong his days, that are as a shadow, because he fears not before Elohim. There is a life, breath that is done upon the earth, that there are righteous people, unto whom it happens according to the work of the wicked. Again, there are wicked people, to whom it happens according to the work of the righteous. I said that this also is breath. Then I commended mirth, because a man has no better thing under the sun, than to eat, drink, and to be glad, because that will abide with him of his labor the days of his life that Elohim gives him under the sun. When I gave my heart to know wisdom and to see the business that has been done on the earth, for there is also a spectator in whose eyes sleep is not by day and by night, then I beheld all the work of Elohim, which a man cannot find out, the work that is done under the sun, because though a man labors to seek it out, yet he will not find it. Yes, further, though a wise one thinks to know it, yet he will not be able to find it. Because all this I considered in my heart even to declare all this, that the righteous, and the wise, and their works, are in the hand of Elohim. No man knows either love or hatred by all that is before them. All things come alike to all, there is one event to the righteous, and one event to the wicked. To the good and to the clean, and to the unclean, to him that sacrifices, and to him that sacrifices not, as is the good, so is the sinner, and he that adjures, as he that fears an oath. This is a badness among all things that are done under the sun, that there is one event to all. Yes, also the heart of the sons of men is full of bad, and madness is in their heart while they live, and after that they go to the dead. Because to him that is joined to all the living there is hope, because a living dog is better than a dead lion. Because the living know that they will die, but the dead know not anything, neither have they any more a reward, because the memory of them is withered. Also their love, and their hatred, and their envy, is now perished, neither have they any more a portion for the ages in anything that is done under the sun. Go your way, eat your bread with joy, and drink your wine with a pleasant heart, because Elohim now accepts your works. Let your garments be always white, and let your head lack no ointment. Live joyfully with the woman whom you love all the days of the life breath, which he has given you under the sun, all the days of your life breath, because that is your portion in this life, and in your labor that you take under the sun. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might, because there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom, in Sheol, where you go. I returned, and saw under the sun, that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happens to them all. Because man also knows not his time, as the fish that are taken in a distressful net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in a bad time, when it falls suddenly upon them. This wisdom have I seen also under the sun, and it seemed great to me. There was a little city, and few men within it, and there came a great king against it and besieged it, and built great siege works against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city, yet none remembered that same poor man. Then I said, Wisdom is better than strength, nevertheless the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. The words of wise ones are heard in quiet more than the cry of him that rules among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroys much good. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor, so does a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart at his left. Yes also, when he that is a fool walks by the way, his wisdom fails him, and he says to everyone that he is a fool. If the heart of the ruler rises up against you, leave not your place, because yielding pacifies great offenses. There is a badness that I have seen under the sun, as an error that proceeds from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. I have seen slaves upon horses, and princes walking as slaves upon the land. He that digs a pit will fall into it, and whoever breaks a hedge, a serpent will bite him. Whoever removes stones will be hurt by it, and he that splits wood will be endangered thereby. If the iron is blunt, and he does not whet the edge, then he must put to it more strength, but wisdom is profitable to direct. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool also is full of words, a man cannot tell what will be, and what will be after him, who can tell him? The labor of the foolish wearies every one of them, because he knows not how to go to the city. Woe to you, O land, when your king is a child, and your princes eat in the morning. Blessed are you, O land, when your king is the son of nobles, and your princes eat in due season, for strength, and not for drunkenness. By much slothfulness the building decays, and through idleness of the hands the house drops through. A feast is made for laughter, and wine makes life joyful, but money answers all things. Curse not the king, no, not in your thoughts, and curse not the rich in your bedchamber, because a bird of the air will carry the voice, and what has wings will tell the matter. Cast your bread upon the waters, because you will find it after many days. Give a portion to 7, and also to 8, because you know not what calamity will be upon the earth. If the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves upon the land, and if the tree falls toward the south, or toward the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it will be. He that observes the wind will not sow, and he that regards the clouds will not reap. As you know not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so you know not the works of Elohim who fashions all. In the morning sow your seed, and at sunset withdraw not your hand, for you know not which is right, this or that, or whether both of them alike are good. Truly the light is sweet, and a pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun, but if a man live many years, and rejoice in them all, yet let him remember the days of darkness, because they will be many. All that comes is breath. Rejoice, O young man, in your youth, and let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth, and walk in the ways of your heart, and in the sight of your eyes, but know that for all these things Elohim will bring you into judgment. Therefore remove sorrow from your heart, and put away the badness from your flesh, for childhood and youth are but a vapor. Remember now your Creator in the days of your youth, while the bad days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when you will say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun, or the light, or the moon, or the stars, be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house will tremble, and the strong men will bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows are darkened, and the doors will be shut in the streets. When the sound of the grinding is low, and he will rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of song will be brought low, also when they will be afraid of what is high, and fears will be in the way, and the almond tree will flourish, and the grasshopper will be a burden, and desire will fail, because man goes to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets, before the silver cord is snapped, or the golden bowl is crushed, or the pitcher is broken at the fountain, or the will broken at the cistern. Then will the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit, silver cord, will return to Elohim who gave it. Breath out of breath, says the preacher, all is but a breath. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge, yes, he gave good heed, and arranged, setting in order many proverbs. The preacher desired to seek out acceptable words, and what was written was upright, even words of truth. The words of the wise are as goads, and as nails fastened by the masters of collections, that are given from one shepherd. And further, by these my son be admonished, of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter, fear Elohim, and observe his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Because Elohim will bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it is good, or whether it is bad.